Today, we're going to talk about a few missions from the GTA series that you can complete in a way more interesting than the obvious one. You know, the one you, and yeah, me too, have usually gone with. These are the approaches that'll make you feel like you've just outsmarted the system. And on top of that, they'll sometimes even add a bit of realism to the whole experience. So let's get into it. Starting with a mission from GTA Vice City, one of Avery Carrington's gigs, called 2-Bit Hit. The whole deal here is that you've got to dress up as a Cuban and take out the newly appointed leader of the Haitians during the funeral of his predecessor. The goal? Spark a gang war that'll tank property values. That, of course, makes our client happy, since he's the kind of guy who's always on the lookout for cheap real estate deals. The mission itself might not be insanely difficult, but it's definitely not the most comfortable one either. To get to your target, you've got to push through a group of pissed-off armed Caribbean lunatics. And if you manage to survive that, the boss dude hops into a hearse and tries to escape. A hearse, by the way, that just casually spits out explosive coffins like it's no big deal. The whole thing's pretty bonkers, and it can really get on your nerves. So to avoid all that, it's worth coming up with a smart little life hack. At first, you might think, alright, sniper rifle, find a good vantage point, blow his head off, job done. But nah, sadly the game won't let you. You've got to be seen by the guards. The whole mission depends on the Haitians thinking the Cubans attacked them, remember? So here's the life hack. You walk up slowly, just enough for the "you've been spotted" message to pop up, but not far enough to trigger the shootout or scare off the target. Then you quickly hop in a car, circle around the block, head into the alley near Auntie Poulet's place, park next to the wall, climb up on the roof of your car, pull out a decent weapon, and boom, gangsta down. All that's left is a quick getaway from the neighborhood, and just like that, mission passed. No stress, no chase, and none of those weird exploding coffins. Next up, the Ballad of Gay Tony and the mission for Ray Bulgarin, called Dropping In. The objective? Jump out of a chopper, parachute down onto the rooftop of a skyscraper, fight your way through Mark Ashvili's heavily armed bodyguards, and eventually take out the man himself. But if you're not in the mood for Hollywood action scenes, and you'd rather take care of the hockey team owner in a less flashy, yet just as effective and just as deadly way, there's a lesser known method you might want to try. See, the window where Ashvili's standing has this little mini floor just outside it. Now from the roof, you can actually chuck a grenade down onto that little ledge. If your throw is good, Ashvili ends up just within the blast radius. And just like that, he's done for. One thing to keep in mind though, before you go playing grenade golf, you still need to trigger that mission section by activating the marker on the helipad. Let's now move over to Liberty City Stories, to a mission that's pretty similar to the iconic one with Johnny Sindacco from GTA San Andreas. We're talking about the mission called Rollercoaster Ride. The goal? To scare Jane Hopper, the leader of that whole strike, the same one Salvatore Leone once helped out and who very quickly forgot about it, eventually refusing to return the favor. When being nice doesn't work, well, you know how it goes in the mafia underworld. Sometimes force does the trick. Tony Cipriani, being a loyal worker, of course, agrees to carry out his boss Sal's idea. So Tony, disguised as Jane Hopper's chauffeur, instead of taking her to the place she asked for, decides to give her an unforgettable ride. Jane Hopper, in an effort to stop her body's gross reaction to the threat that comes with Tony's absolutely insane driving, finally agrees to do what Sal's asking for. Now, yeah, probably the most standard way to do this mission is just driving fast for a while, but let's be real, that's boring. The limo's not exactly built for speed, and despite that, Hopper screaming like crazy totally kills the immersion. But in this case, no worries, there's a remedy for that. Our plan is to scare Jane Hopper by pulling off a badass stunt, and even better, right in front of her own group of volunteers. To get the right speed for that, you gotta get on that, I don't know, promenade? That path running along the west coast of Portland. Then you start accelerating with the limo northbound, all the way to a natural ramp made of dirt and grass. And that's where you launch the jump. And after a stunt like that, it's no surprise Hopper agrees to help Sal. Killer move, mission complete, and the immersion? Off the charts. And since we're already on the topic of prequels, let's go ahead and knock out the other one, GTA Vice City Stories. This time, we're taking a look at the mission Papi, Don't Screech, a job where you have to give a ride to the father of the legendary Mr. Little Cojones, that is, Umberto. On paper, nothing major, just a drive from the stadium to his cafe. Sounds like a boring little cruise, but yeah, it's not. The game's thrown in a little surprise here. First, the route is crawling with cholos, just waiting to take your head off. And maybe Papa Umberto's too. And second, you have to drive carefully because Papa's got a heart like fine porcelain. A few rough moves and the guy could just drop dead from a heart attack. So now you're supposed to somehow help this old man relax while dodging cholos left and right like it's a slalom course. Not exactly easy, and the time limit doesn't help either. It's tight. So yeah, another one of those situations where a life hack wouldn't hurt. And luckily, we've got just the thing. The trick is simple. If the cholos are all over the streets, then we drive where they're not, off the streets. Turns out the mainland offers a pretty much completely isolated western coastline that runs along the city, and you cruise down it to get real close to Robina's Cafe, your destination. That way, you avoid almost all the cholos and the ride's chill. No ambushes, no crashing, and most importantly, no heart attacks. The only thing you gotta keep an eye on is your speed. The mission Crystal Maze is known for the iconic scene where Trevor walks out of the O'Neill brothers' house as it explodes behind him. The mission itself isn't super hard, but by GTA 5 standards, it's also not the easiest. The toughest part is the section inside the house, which is kind of a chaotic maze of rooms, and around every corner there could be someone waiting to fill you with lead. All of that just to find the basement where the local specialty, strawberry jam, is being made. Though surprisingly, it's white, not red, and let's just say the way you consume it isn't exactly traditional. But anyway, your job is to blow the lab up, and to do it properly, the way Trevor wants, you need to reach it first. As we've said, that's not easy because of the shootout inside. But there's a way to skip the gunfight and the boring part with pouring gasoline. First, you'll need some grenades. You can grab them at the nearby ammunition. Sticky bombs also work and are even easier to use, but they only become available after the mission Friends Reunited. So that method's more for replaying the mission or just messing around with cheats. If you're just playing through the story normally, you'll have to stick to regular grenades. Here's how the trick works. Start by activating Trevor's special ability, the one that makes him basically invincible. Run into the house, use the ability, and go straight for the basement. When you're on the stairs, turn the ability off. Pick up the gas can and head back up the stairs. Once you're at the top, turn the ability back on. Toss a grenade. The fastest way is to aim with a different weapon, like a pistol, then hit G to throw it. And run for the back exit. Not the one you entered through, but the one shown here on the screen. If you get out before the grenade explodes, the mission script will accept it, and the mission will count as completed. Now here's a really cool alternative method for the Final Destination mission. So in this mission, Faustin sends Nico to kill Lenny Petrovic, who's hanging out at a subway station. As soon as you enter the station, a cutscene starts. Nico talks to Lenny, which ends up scaring him off. Lenny runs and his bodyguard starts shooting at you. Sometimes, by the time you try to cross to the other side of the station, a train comes by. That eats up a ton of time, and if you don't manage to find cover or get through in time, Lenny might just get away. That's why, if you want to take Lenny out quickly and cleanly like a proper hitman, it's much easier to snipe him from a certain nearby spot. Right near the station, there's a billboard that Nico can climb up. You just need to position yourself right and squeeze in between a ladder and a dumpster. Nothing too tricky. Once you're up on the billboard, you'll see it gives you a perfect view of Lenny. The next life hack we're about to show you is perhaps not the least known one, but it's just really cool, so let's talk about it. It's about the Roman's holiday mission, in which Johnny kidnaps Roman Bellic. In the regular approach, you and Malk wait for Roman outside one of the local underground gambling dens, the kind of place where Roman loved blowing through his cousin's hard-earned cash. The devs actually built in a very clever alternate way to lure Roman out. A while earlier, Johnny gets a text from Elisabetta, in which she passes along the phone number for Roman's cab company, sent to her by Mallory, Roman's girlfriend. So now, Johnny has a working number he can call. If the player's sharp and remembers this detail at the right time, they can use it during this mission to call the number, which makes the whole thing 5 times easier. Not that the kidnapping itself is super hard, but still. On top of that, this method totally exposes and makes fun of Roman's flaws. Mainly, how he loves to exaggerate about himself and act like someone he's not. The guy's constantly lying and fronting. And then there's this shameless bias toward women, especially when they're potential customers. Just listen to it yourself.
Hello, this is Bellic and Bellic Enterprises. What can I assist you with?
Is Roman Bellic there?
Mr. Bellic is very busy man. An important and busy man. I think he's on a hot date or something. What is it you need from him?
We got 2 college co-eds over here, and they're in need of a limo. And I'm told this Bellic guy's the man for that kind of work.
Well, in that case, We'll try to contact Mr. Bellick and have him come as soon as possible.
From a practical standpoint, this method really pays off. Even players doing this mission for the first time might remember from the intro cutscene where they're supposed to take Roman after grabbing him, so you can head roughly toward that spot first and then make the call. That way, once you have Roman, you're already near your destination. No need to chase him mid-ride, because as you probably remember, Roman always tries to jump out of the car at some point. Here's another mission where you can use a really solid life hack. It's actually kind of similar to the one from Final Destination. This time, we're talking about 4 Iron, another mission for Avery in GTA Vice City. In this one, your job is to enter the golf course and take out a stubborn idiot who refuses to give up his land. The problem? Killing this guy isn't that easy. Once you enter the course, security takes all your weapons and he's constantly surrounded by a bunch of bodyguards. The mission can be seriously annoying. Either the guards beat you down, or you keep getting pulled out of your golf cart every 5 seconds while chasing him, or something else random just messes it all up. But it doesn't have to go that way. If you want to handle this mission like a true boss, the trick is to bring a sniper rifle. The easiest way to get one is by heading to Starfish Island and grabbing it from the hedge maze at Diaz's mansion. And if you haven't unlocked the island yet, no worries. Getting past the gate is super easy, as you can see here on the screen. Once you've got the rifle, start the mission like normal. Get changed into the golf outfit, hit the marker in front of the course, but don't go inside the golf course itself. Instead, drive over to the area near that apartment building where Gonzalez gave missions to Vic in Vice City Stories. From there, you've got a perfect view of your target. That spot is ideal for lining up a clean shot and taking him out from a distance. No golf cart chaos, no security, just quick and clean. In the Outrider mission, long story short and skipping the story details, your job is to clear out roadblocks so that a van you're escorting can safely reach its destination. In one of our videos on the dumbest missions in GTA, we laughed about how the driver in this mission takes a completely ridiculous route, like he's purposely trying to hit every single roadblock possible. Today's life hack lets you take the van yourself and follow a much smarter, more obvious route, saving time and avoiding all the chaos. First, before you even start the mission, grab a satchel charge. Then, before driving into the mission marker next to Mike Torino's van, park your car in front of the marker and get out. Walk over to the van, pick up the sniper rifle, shoot it once, and place an explosive next to it. Then go back to your car, detonate the charge, and immediately drive into the marker before the van explodes. After the cutscene, you'll notice the van did not actually blow up. The driver's gone, and most importantly, he left the doors unlocked. Normally, the doors are locked, which prevents you from taking control. From there, all you need to do is trigger the next mission phase by hopping on the nearby motorcycle. Then, just get into the van and drive it to the destination yourself. That's all for today. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.